Hello everyone, we are in day 2 of week 2 of the spoilers of Dominaria. This is the final week of the spoilers. By the end of this week, the whole set will be all spoiled. I must admit that the best cards have been already spoiled. Last week we have seen a couple of very strong mythics and very strong rares. We have even a very strong uncommon card that is Damping Sphere. And usually the last couple of days of the spoilers we are left only with common and uncommon. But as you're going to see today, there are quite a couple of interesting rare cards that have been spoiled. Let's not lose time and we begin our spoilers of today for Dominaria. Scattering Surveyor 3, you have a 1/2 artifact creature. Remember that artifacts are historic, therefore this one counts as a historic, and when this card enters the battlefield you may search for a basic land, reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. I think it's a very strong card at the common section for limited type. Pegasus Cursorer 2 and 1 white, you have a 1/3 flying creature, and whenever Pegasus Cursorer attacks, another target attacking creature gains flying until end of turn. Aven Sentry, a flying 3/2 creature. Navigator's Compass 4/1, you have an artifact. When Navigator's Compass enters the battlefield you gain 3 life. You tap until end of turn, target land you control becomes the basic land type of your choice in addition to its other types. It's an excellent mana fixing artifact. Also, artifacts, remember, it's historic. Bellet Gorger 4/4, 2 and 2 green, you have a 4/4 creature, and if you pay the kicker, it enters the battlefield with an extra 3+1/+1 counters. Blood Tallow Candle 4/1, you have an artifact, and you tap 6, tap and sacrifice, and target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. This is an excellent card if you deal with Hazoret. Cloud Reader's Sphinx 4 and 1 blue, flying. When Cloud Reader Sphinx enters the battlefield you scry 2. Divination for 2 and 1 blue, you can draw 2 cards. Card drawing cards are always very strong and very good. Elfheim Druid 1 and 1 green, you have an Elf Druid 0/2, you tap and you add 1 green, you tap and you can add 2 green, and you spend that mana only to cast kicked spells. An excellent card synergy with kicked creatures. Warcry Phoenix for 3 and 1 red, you have a 2/2 flying haste creature. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures you may pay 2 and 1 red. If you do, return Warcry Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Garna the Blood Flame, we have another legendary creature at the uncommon slot. It has flesh, and when Garna the Blood Flame enters the battlefield, return to your hand all creatures cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere this turn. Other creatures you control have haste. Halar the Fire Fletcher, a legendary creature. It has trample, and whenever you cast a spell, if the spell was kicked, you put a +1/+1 counter on Halar the Fire Fletch. Then Halar deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it to each opponent. This is an excellent card with a synergy to kicked spells. Erza's Tome 2, you have an artifact. For 3, you draw 3 cards, then discard a card unless you exile a historic card from your graveyard. Jorah's Familiar, you have an artifact Bird 2/2 flying. Historic spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This is very strong card that lets you cast artifacts, legendaries, sagas for 1 less. If you have 1 or more of this, you can have 1 or more mana to spend to cast less. When the Pride of Femre, you have a 2/2 double strike creature. He's legendary, and creatures you control with first strike have double strike. On Serra's Wings, you enchanted creature is legendary, gets +1/+1, has flying, vigilance, and lifelink. Orcish Vandal, for 2 you have a 1/1, you sacrifice an artifact, Orcish Vandal deals 2 damage to any target. This is very good if you have artifact token creation decks where you can sacrifice and deal 2 damage to any target, being a player, planeswalker, or also creature. Untamed Kavu, it has a kicker, it has vigilance and trample, and if it's kicked, it enters the battlefield with a 3/1/1 counters. Whisper Blood Liturgist, 3 and 1 black, it's a legendary creature, and you can sacrifice 2 creatures and return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now we have the 2 rare cards. As I said, they are quite interesting. Mishra, Self-Replicator, for 5 you have a 2/2 artifact creature. Whenever you cast a historic spell, you may pay 1. If you do, create a token that's copy of Mishra's Self-Replicator. This creature can replicate itself multiple times. If you have 1, you get 2. If you have 2, you get 4. If you have 4, you get 8, then 16, then 32, 64, and you can continue forever. I think this card will be very strong. It's a pity that costs 5. If it costs a little bit less, it will be much stronger. But I think this particular card will see a lot of play. Last card we have in our spoilers today, Blackblade Reforged, for 2. You have a legendary artifact. It's an equipment. Equipped creature get +1/+1 for each land you control. Equipped creature, equipped legendary creature 3, normal equipment 7. If you equip a legendary creature with 3, it gets +1/+1 for each land you control. Therefore, if you cast this spell for 2, you have already 2 lands. If you equip it in the next turn, you have 3. Therefore, equipped creature will have minimum of 3/1/1 counters. If it's legendary, you can equip it for 3. If it's not, you need 7. Click like to this button, to this video, and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering, more spoilers, more box opening, more of everything. Thank you very much.